Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. Imagine waking up to a home where every item you own serves a purpose, where clutter no longer clouds your mind, and where the space around you breathes freedom instead of chaos. What if the key to unlocking the life you've always dreamed of isn't about acquiring more, but about letting go? In The More of Less, Finding the Life You Want Under Everything You Own, Joshua Becker invites you on a transformative journey to discover the profound joy and clarity that comes from living with less. This isn't just a book about decluttering, it's a manifesto for intentional living, a guide to stripping away the excess to reveal the life you truly desire. Becker, a leading voice in the minimalist movement, doesn't just preach simplicity, he shows you how to achieve it. Through compelling stories, practical strategies, and a refreshing perspective on materialism, he reveals how minimalism can lead to greater fulfillment, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of purpose. Whether you're drowning in possessions or simply feeling the weight of too much, this book offers a lifeline to a lighter, more meaningful existence. Are you ready to uncover the life you've been searching for, underneath everything you own? Part 1 Summary of The More of Less, Finding the Life You Want Under Everything You Own by Joshua Becker. Introduction: The Moment That Changed Everything. Joshua Becker begins the book with a powerful personal story, one that sparked his journey into minimalism. It was an ordinary day when he and his wife decided to clean out their cluttered garage. As he sifted through their accumulated possessions, his neighbor casually remarked, "Maybe you don't need to own all this stuff." That one simple comment was a wake-up call. Becker suddenly realized that the endless pursuit of more possessions wasn't leading to happiness, it was holding him back from the life he truly wanted. From this moment on, Becker started questioning everything. Why do we own so much? Does all this stuff make us happier? Or is it actually distracting us from what really matters? His personal revelation laid the foundation for a transformational journey into minimalism, not just as a way to declutter, but as a means to create a more meaningful life. Chapter 1: The Unexpected Joy of Less. Becker challenges the widespread belief that more possessions equal more happiness. Society conditions us to believe that accumulating things is the key to success, yet so many people feel overwhelmed, stressed, and unfulfilled despite owning more than ever before. He argues that the things we own end up owning us. In this chapter, he introduces the core idea of intentional minimalism, a lifestyle centered around choosing what truly adds value to your life while letting go of the excess. Minimalism, he explains, isn't about deprivation or living with nothing. It's about freeing yourself from distractions to focus on what truly brings joy. Becker shares compelling real-life stories of individuals and families who embraced minimalism and saw radical improvements in their well-being, ranging from financial freedom and stronger relationships to improved mental health and more time for passions. The key takeaway? Less is more, if we're willing to redefine success and happiness beyond material possessions. Chapter 2: Decluttering the Mind Before the Home. Before tackling physical clutter, Becker emphasizes the importance of shifting our mindset. He identifies several psychological barriers that keep people from letting go of their possessions: the just-in-case mentality, holding on to items out of fear that they might be needed someday; emotional attachments, sentimental items that carry memories, making it hard to part with them; the sunk cost fallacy, the belief that we must keep something because we spent money on it, even if it no longer serves a purpose; fear of regret, the worry that we might get rid of something and later wish we hadn't. Becker guides readers through exercises to recognize these limiting beliefs and replace them with a minimalist mindset. He challenges readers to reflect on these questions. What would I gain by owning fewer things? If I lost everything tomorrow, what would truly matter? Am I living for my possessions, or are they serving me? This chapter isn't just about decluttering physical spaces. It's about mentally preparing to let go of what no longer serves us. Chapter 3: The Hidden Costs of Owning Too Much. Here, Becker unpacks the real price of excessive possessions. While society teaches us that owning more equals success, he argues that it actually comes with significant hidden costs. 1. Financial costs. Every item we purchase has an ongoing price: maintenance, storage, repairs, insurance, and even the mental burden of keeping track of it. Becker highlights studies showing that the average household owns thousands of dollars worth of unused items. 2. Time costs. More possessions mean more time spent cleaning, organizing, repairing, and managing them. People don't realize that the hours spent maintaining their belongings could be used for more fulfilling activities, such as spending time with family, pursuing hobbies, or resting. 3. Emotional and mental costs. Clutter creates stress. Research has shown that messy, overcrowded spaces increase anxiety and reduce productivity. Becker shares studies that link cluttered environments to higher cortisol levels, leading to feelings of overwhelm and decision fatigue. This chapter is a reality check. Becker wants readers to see that their stuff isn't just taking up space, it's taking up time, energy, and even joy. Chapter 4. Redefining Success and Happiness. Why do we chase material possessions in the first place? Becker argues that consumer culture has convinced us that happiness is just one more purchase away. Yet, time and again, studies show that beyond meeting basic needs, wealth and possessions do not increase life satisfaction. He challenges readers to reconsider their definition of success. Instead of measuring life by the number of things owned, what if we measured it by the strength of our relationships, the experiences we've had, the impact we've made on others, the freedom to pursue our passions? He introduces the concept of values-based minimalism, living intentionally in a way that aligns with what truly matters. This chapter is an invitation to step off the hamster wheel of consumerism and embrace a life of purpose. Chapter 5. The First Step Toward a Simpler Life. Now that Becker has laid the foundation, he provides a practical starting point for readers who feel overwhelmed by the idea of minimalism. Instead of trying to declutter everything at once, he encourages readers to start small, one drawer, one closet, one category at a time. The one-room challenge. Becker suggests choosing a single room, perhaps the bedroom or living room, to experiment with minimalism. He offers a step-by-step guide. 1. Remove everything from the space. 2. Sort items into categories: keep, donate, sell, or trash. 3. Only return items that add value to your life. 4. Observe how the space feels after decluttering. The goal isn't just to create a cleaner home, it's to experience the benefits of having less. Many people, he explains, feel an immediate sense of peace and clarity after decluttering, reinforcing their motivation to continue. Chapter 6. Minimalism and Relationships. Becker addresses an important concern. How do you embrace minimalism when your family isn't on board? Many people fear that choosing a simpler life will create conflict, especially if a spouse, children, or roommates are attached to their possessions. He provides practical advice for navigating these challenges. Lead by example. Instead of forcing minimalism on others, focus on your own journey and let them see the benefits. Respect differences. Not everyone will want to minimize the same way. It's important to find common ground. Focus on shared benefits. Emphasize how minimalism creates more time, space, and financial freedom for the entire family. Becker also highlights how minimalism improves relationships. With fewer distractions, people tend to be more present, have deeper conversations, and cultivate stronger emotional connections. Conclusion of Part 1. The Promise of a Lighter Life. Becker wraps up Part 1 with a compelling vision. Imagine waking up in a home that feels peaceful instead of overwhelming. Imagine having more time for the things you love. Imagine feeling financially free instead of burdened by debt. He reassures readers that minimalism is not about giving up. It's about gaining more of what truly matters. Part 2 will dive into the practical strategies to embrace minimalism and design a life that aligns with personal values. Thoughts on Part 1. Part 1 of The More of Less is a thought-provoking, eye-opening exploration of why we accumulate too much and how it affects our lives. Becker masterfully blends personal stories, scientific research, and practical wisdom to keep readers engaged. He doesn't just advocate for minimalism, he makes a compelling case for why embracing less can lead to so much more. Stay tuned for Part 2, where we'll dive into actionable steps for simplifying your home, finances, and life. Part 2 Summary. Introduction to Part 2, A Roadmap to Simplicity. In the second part of The More of Less, Joshua Becker shifts from the conceptual and philosophical aspects of minimalism to providing a roadmap for how to actually implement it in everyday life. With Part 1 laying the groundwork, showing why we need less, not more, Becker now focuses on practical, actionable steps that can guide anyone through the process of simplifying their life. His approach is compassionate, realistic, and, most importantly, designed to create lasting change. Chapter 7. Starting with Why. Before jumping into the practicalities of decluttering, Becker emphasizes that it's crucial to define why you want to embrace minimalism in the first place. Understanding your personal why gives you the motivation and clarity to push through the inevitable challenges that arise when simplifying your life. Becker invites readers to reflect deeply on their core values and life goals. He encourages us to ask powerful questions like, what do I want my life to look like? What am I truly passionate about? How do I want to spend my time? This process of self-reflection leads to a deeper understanding of what matters most, helping to create a clear vision for life beyond possessions. Becker argues that once you are grounded in your values and motivations, simplifying your life becomes not just easier, but essential. The power of why. Becker shares stories of individuals who, upon clarifying their why, were able to eliminate distractions and focus their energy on what truly brings them fulfillment, whether it's nurturing relationships, traveling, or pursuing a lifelong passion. The chapter ends by reinforcing that minimalism isn't about stripping life down to a bare minimum. It's about creating space for the life you've always wanted. Chapter 8. The Importance of the First Step. Taking the first step toward minimalism can often feel overwhelming. Becker empathizes with readers who are paralyzed by the sheer volume of tasks ahead. Decluttering an entire home can seem like an insurmountable challenge. So, Becker offers an empowering solution. Start small. The One-Room Challenge. Becker's advice? Start by focusing on just one room. It's easier to make progress when you can visualize success on a smaller scale, and once that room is done, it builds momentum to move on to the next. This chapter provides a step-by-step guide to begin decluttering effectively, making it feel less like a massive chore and more like a manageable project. 1. Choose one room or space. Select a place that's particularly overwhelming or one you spend a lot of time in, like the living room or kitchen. 2. Create categories. Sort your items into categories: keep, donate, sell, or trash. 3. Be intentional. Only keep items that align with your values or contribute to your vision for the life you want. 4. Commit to the process. Becker highlights that decluttering takes time, but it's worth it. Celebrate the small wins along the way. The goal is to create a space where you feel calm, clear, and centered. Becker believes that completing this first room will give you a sense of accomplishment and a deeper understanding of how powerful minimalism can be. Chapter 9. Overcoming Obstacles and Building Momentum. As readers embark on their journey toward minimalism, Becker acknowledges that they will inevitably face obstacles. Decluttering is rarely a smooth or easy process, especially for those who are emotionally attached to their things or feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. Becker offers practical strategies to overcome these barriers and keep momentum going. 1. Emotional attachments. Many of us struggle with letting go of possessions that hold sentimental value. Becker advises starting with items that carry less emotional weight and gradually working your way to the more challenging ones. 2. The guilt trap. We often hold on to things because we feel guilty about the money we spent or the effort we invested in acquiring them. Becker introduces the idea of liberation, freeing ourselves from the guilt of letting go and understanding that the value of an item is not defined by how much we paid for it, but by how it serves our current life. 3. Overwhelm. The sheer volume of possessions can be overwhelming, and Becker suggests breaking the task into smaller, more manageable pieces. He also advocates for creating a decluttering routine where you tackle just 15 to 30 minutes a day, making it easier to integrate the process into daily life without feeling burned out. As readers work through these obstacles, Becker reinforces the idea that minimalism is a process, not a one-time event, and it requires patience and persistence. However, the rewards, both physical and emotional, are well worth the effort. Chapter 10. The 80-20 Rule of Possessions. In this chapter, Becker introduces a concept that will resonate with many readers: the idea of the 80-20 rule applied to possessions. He explains that most of us use only about 20% of the things we own, while the other 80% just takes up space and causes mental clutter. What can you let go of? Becker invites readers to assess each area of their home and ask themselves, do I use this regularly? Does it add value to my life? He suggests starting with categories where it's easy to see which items you can let go of, such as clothing. We often wear the same few pieces over and over again, while others collect dust in the closet. Books. While books are valuable, we often hold on to ones we haven't read or no longer feel connected to. Kitchen gadgets. We accumulate kitchen tools that get little use, like once-a-year appliances that gather dust on high shelves. The 80-20th shift. By focusing on the 20% of things that are truly essential and meaningful, you can create a life with less noise and more focus. Becker emphasizes that simplifying your possessions isn't just about freeing up physical space. It's about making room for more important things, such as relationships, experiences, and personal growth. Chapter 11. Creating a simple, purposeful life. Now that you've started decluttering, it's time to focus on creating a life that aligns with your values. Becker discusses how minimalism isn't just about physical possessions, but about simplifying all areas of life, from your time and energy to your relationships and goals. The importance of saying no. Becker underscores the need to protect your time and energy. Often, we accumulate obligations and commitments that drain us, much like we accumulate physical items. By learning to say no to things that don't align with your values, you create more space for the things that truly matter. Intentional living. Living intentionally means making decisions that support your long-term happiness and personal growth. Becker suggests focusing on what you really want in life, whether it's spending more time with loved ones, traveling, or pursuing a hobby, and then designing your lifestyle to support those desires. Conclusion of Part 2. Embrace the freedom of less. Part 2 of The More of Less wraps up with a call to action. Embracing minimalism is an ongoing journey, not a one-time destination. Becker reminds readers that the process of letting go, simplifying, and living intentionally is not about perfection but progress. He encourages readers to take their time, reflect on their values, and continuously make adjustments to build the life they truly desire. By the end of Part 2, readers will have not only a practical toolkit for decluttering, but also a renewed sense of purpose. Minimalism, Becker concludes, isn't about achieving some idealistic, perfect life. It's about creating a space that allows you to thrive. Thoughts on Part 2. The second part of The More of Less is filled with actionable advice, powerful tools, and reflective exercises that ensure readers don't just understand minimalism. They begin to live it. With his practical steps and profound insights, Becker continues to lead readers on a journey toward a life that's simpler, richer, and more intentional. Part 3 Summary. Introduction to Part 3. Embracing the Life You Want. In Part 3 of The More of Less, Joshua Becker brings the minimalist journey full circle, showing readers how simplifying their lives leads to profound freedom, fulfillment, and purpose. with the foundational steps laid out in the first two parts, starting with a deep understanding of why minimalism matters and embracing the challenges of decluttering. Becker now turns to the rewards of minimalism, a life lived with greater intention, clarity, and joy. This section of the book is all about how minimalism helps us reconnect with what truly matters in our lives. Chapter 12: The Freedom of Less. One of the most significant and powerful benefits of living a minimalist life is the freedom that comes with letting go of excess. In this chapter, Becker explores the concept of freedom, both physical and emotional, that arises when we strip away distractions and focus on what really matters. The paradox of possessions. Becker starts by addressing a common misconception that accumulating more stuff brings more freedom. The reality, however, is that the more we own, the more we are burdened. Possessions demand attention, maintenance, and space, often leading to stress and distraction. Minimalism, on the other hand, offers the freedom to direct our energy and focus toward the things that bring us true joy and satisfaction, like relationships, passions, and meaningful experiences. Freedom through choice. By owning less, we open ourselves up to greater choice. Becker shares examples of people who, by decluttering their homes, freed up time, money, and mental space. This newfound freedom allows them to make more intentional decisions about how they spend their days, and even where they choose to live and work. Minimalism is portrayed not just as a lifestyle change, but as a mindset shift that frees us from the trap of consumerism and busyness. Chapter 13: Living with Purpose. At its core, minimalism is about creating a life that reflects your deepest values and desires. In this chapter, Becker focuses on the importance of living a life driven by purpose and intention. Once we free ourselves from the weight of excess possessions, we gain the clarity needed to pursue what matters most. Clarifying your purpose. Becker argues that a purposeful life starts with a clear understanding of what we truly care about. He provides practical exercises to help readers identify their core values, long-term goals, and the things that bring them joy. The goal isn't to focus on a single purpose or identity, but rather to live intentionally in a way that integrates your values into everyday life. For example, if spending time with family is a core value, minimalism might encourage readers to make more room for family activities and interactions, perhaps by simplifying their work schedule or cutting back on extracurricular activities. Living with purpose requires aligning every decision, big and small, with your values, and minimalism serves as the perfect tool for this alignment. Chapter 14: The Positive Impact on Relationships. One of the most profound changes that minimalism brings is the impact it has on our relationships. When we focus less on accumulating things and more on cultivating meaningful connections, we start to experience greater fulfillment and deeper bonds with others. Quality time over quantity. Becker stresses the importance of prioritizing relationships over material possessions. He argues that our culture often leads us to believe that happiness comes from owning more, but true happiness is found in the moments we share with the people we love. By minimizing distractions, including time spent managing our things, we can create more space for meaningful relationships. Becker shares moving stories of individuals who, after decluttering their homes, found that they were able to connect more deeply with their families. Without the constant burden of upkeep or worrying about possessions, they spent more time playing with their children, having meaningful conversations, and engaging in shared experiences. Emotional freedom in relationships. Minimalism also has emotional benefits. As we let go of material possessions, we learn to let go of the emotional attachments to those items. This can reduce the tension and emotional clutter that sometimes interferes with healthy relationships. Becker explains that as we declutter our homes, we also start to declutter our hearts, making it easier to build authentic, fulfilling connections with others. Chapter 15: Financial Freedom Through Simplicity. In this chapter, Becker dives into the financial benefits of minimalism. Living with less doesn't just free up your time and emotional space, it can also drastically improve your financial situation. By focusing on what truly adds value to our lives and cutting out the excess, we can reduce wasteful spending and create a more sustainable financial future. Living below your means. One of the key tenets of minimalism is living below your means. Becker explains that when we simplify our lives, we tend to make smarter financial decisions, buying only what we truly need and investing in experiences that bring us happiness rather than material goods. Minimalism allows us to take control of our finances. Rather than being enslaved by debt or the pressure to constantly buy more, we can prioritize savings, reduce consumer debt, and even pursue goals like early retirement or traveling the world without financial worry. Becker provides real-life examples of families who, by embracing minimalism, were able to pay off large amounts of debt and live within their means, eventually achieving financial freedom. Chapter 16: How to Stay Committed to Minimalism. Embracing minimalism is not a one-time decision, it's a lifelong commitment. In this chapter, Becker offers practical advice on how to maintain a minimalist lifestyle, even as life's inevitable changes come your way. Decluttering as a daily practice. Minimalism is not just about one major decluttering event. It's about adopting a mindset of simplicity every day. Becker suggests that readers make decluttering a regular part of their lives, whether it's doing a quick tidy-up, evaluating new purchases, or reevaluating their time commitments. He also encourages readers to set boundaries to protect their minimalist lifestyle. This could mean saying no to unnecessary purchases, being selective about the commitments you take on, and surrounding yourself with people who support your minimalist goals. The role of accountability. Becker introduces the idea of accountability as a key to maintaining a minimalist lifestyle. Whether through a support group, a friend, or a partner, having someone to encourage you on your minimalist journey can make all the difference in staying committed. Minimalism is a practice that requires constant attention, and Becker shows how building a supportive community can help you stay the course. Chapter 17: The Rewards of Less. The final chapter of Part 3, and the book, reflects on the long-term rewards of living a minimalist life. Becker circles back to the overarching theme that minimalism is not just about getting rid of things, it's about creating space for what truly matters. A life of more joy, more freedom, and more fulfillment. Becker closes with a reflection on the true rewards of minimalism: more joy, freedom, and fulfillment. By removing distractions and simplifying your life, you create space for the things that matter most, whether it's pursuing your passions, spending time with loved ones, or making a difference in the world. He leaves readers with a powerful, encouraging thought: minimalism isn't an end, it's a beginning. It's a pathway to a life that is rich with purpose, joy, and the freedom to pursue what truly matters. Conclusion of Part 3: A Life Transformed by Less. Part 3 of The More of Less encapsulates the transformative power of minimalism, showing that owning less leads to living more. Through focusing on purpose, relationships, finances, and ongoing commitment, Becker illustrates how minimalism is not just about decluttering physical possessions, but about creating a more meaningful and intentional life. He encourages readers to embrace minimalism as a tool for transformation, offering a roadmap to a richer, more fulfilling existence. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new video updates.